Greetings, this is Graham Sparkman from Graham Sparkman Music Production, and I'm here today to talk to you about tape. And at the heart and center of today's episode is this lovely TIAC 1230 tape machine from the early 70s. I picked it up not that long ago. We're going to be discussing the different ways you can use tape as almost like a musical instrument, and more specifically tape speed upon recording and then playback. I'm going to give you guys a demonstration. Brought in my daughter's Roland synthesizer here, so I'm going to see if I can just come up with some stuff, record to tape. We're going to play it back at slow speed. Also, for you folks that didn't get the memo, I just released a brand new children's jazz album titled Carnival of Song, which is out now on all of the different places where you can go to listen to music: Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon Music, YouTube, wherever you go. So check that album out. So you're probably wondering, why in the world would I want to use this old piece of audio gear that's almost 50 years old to record on when I have, DAW-based recording that can record in absolutely pristine digital quality with all of the benefits of analog emulation, plugins, and such? Well, there's an answer to that, and I want to come back to it. But first, I want to share with you a couple of stories. So when I was a kid growing up in the 80s, if you wanted to record, recording onto tape was the only way you could do it. So one year for either Christmas or my birthday, I got one of these Fisher-Price tape recorders that recorded and played back on standard audio cassette tapes. It looked like a big clunky brown lunchbox, and it was basically indestructible. It had like 3 buttons on it. It was like, stop, play, record, fast forward, and rewind, or something like that. Very simple setup. It's battery operated, so therefore it was portable, and I took that thing everywhere, as did my brother. I remember we, on family vacations, being in the back of the car, driving from Kentucky down to Florida and recording onto cassette tapes. I remember taking it outside into the woods, and it was just, instant gratification because you could record something and then rewind it back and listen to it, and it was just such a cool tool to have. So part of the reason that I picked up this reel-to-reel is to try to tap back into that creative energy of my youth, meaning that even though this thing isn't 100% portable, it's actually a lot more portable than my DAW, that's digital audio workstation setup, because as most of you know, it's tethered to my monitors, and then that goes into my interface, and then I have some analog outboard gear, and then I have the big computer itself, and so it's not just like you can pack all that up and go record some birds outside or something. Whereas this, maybe with an extension cord, it only weighs about 25-30 pounds, give or take. You can take it places and set up and record. So I'm hoping to use this similarly to the way I used tape when I was a kid, to kind of get outside the box, so to speak, and to get out into nature and into my environment, and to just start recording sounds that I see around me every day, and then bring those back into my studio and process them, tweak them, distort them, manipulate them, whatever. So I'm super excited, and I'll keep you guys posted about that project. Story number 2. Now, this has to do both with tape and how I originally got into recording. See, growing up, I did a whole lot more live performance-based music. That is to say, I sang, played guitar and sang in churches in front of people, at church camps. I was in a few different bands as I got older growing up. I was in a small little band in high school. And then on into college, led worship for my the Baptist Student Union at my college. And so there was always this sort of me in front of people thing that was going on. But that all changed in the year of our Lord 2000. I went to a school for musicians in Lakeside, Montana. And at that school, as part of the curriculum, we were assigned a song each week to write. That is to say, we were to write an original composition. We were given a topic on every Monday, and then we would have the whole week to write a song based on that topic, and then we'd have to come back in front of our class, stand up in front of our classmates, and perform that original song, which was due every Friday of the week. So this school was actually previously an old military base, and there was dormitories located on the campus. And one of my friends who stayed in my dorm had a small cassette tape multi-track recorder, meaning that you could record, like, I think it was like a 4-track. It was either a Tascam or a Fostex. But the way it worked is you could multi-track in, and then I think you flipped the tape over to free up more tracks or something like that. You would bounce to stereo at the end of the day. Regardless, really cool little compact battery-operated cassette tape, multi-track cassette tape recorder. And he brought it to the school so that we could just use it as a tool, essentially. I got a hold of that thing and was using it a little bit. One night while laying in my bed, see, as I mentioned before, this was used to be an old military base. And they had a furnace with a boiler room, and there was pipes that went all through the dormitory. And at nighttime, if people were taking showers or running hot water, the pipes would make this weird ambient hissing sound, popping and creaking and all these weird groaning kind of sounds. And I got the idea to take that little cassette tape recorder and climb up into the rafters where the pipes are located and stick microphone directly to those pipes and try to record it. And then one of my other roommates had a keyboard, was a keyboard player, and then I went and tried to find out what key or what root note that droning sound was close to. And most keyboards come with like a pitch bending mechanism, like a pitch bending wheel, so I could, because it was not true pitch, it wasn't going to be on a note, it was going to be sort of either flat or sharp of a note. Figured that out, detuned the guitar to kind of match that, the sound of that tuning, that key. And then I wrote my song based on that drone of the pipes sort of being the foundation for the song itself, by which all the other multi-track layers were set to. And then it occurred to me that I wasn't going to be able to take the pipes from the dormitory that made that weird sound into the classroom and do this in some sort of live setting. So I went to one of my instructors and I asked if it would be possible to play my tape when it came my turn to present my song to the class. And at first they were on the fence about it. They were like, I don't know, if we let you do this, then other people might want to do this. It's kind of weird. We've never done this before. At the end of the day, they decided to let me do it. That moment in time, it was like somebody flipped a light switch in my brain, because I realized that I could express myself so much more creatively in the recording world than I could if it was just me holding an acoustic guitar and singing a song in front of a group of people. Because I'm not knocking people that do that, but that was always going to be a one-trick pony compared to all of the colors that I could paint with on my palette in the recording world. And so from that point on, I went towards recording and did less and less of, performance-based music. But it all started on tape. And that's why I love tape, and that's why I'm kind of coming back to tape as a source of creative inspiration, almost like a muse. So enough talking. Let's get straight to this thing. I'm going to just play some little rinky-dink thing. Got a built-in drum machine here, and we'll cut this to tape at 7.5 yips. That's fast speed. So as I mentioned before, I spoke briefly about tape speed and using tape speed creatively. This particular machine comes with 2 tape speeds. Some of these units come with 3. High speed and low speed. High speed operates at 7.5 inches per second. Low speed is 3/4, or it's basically half speed. So a really magical thing happens when you record something at a fast speed and then you play back at slow speed. Things become weird, they become dreamlike, they become ambient. So this is how you can use this piece of gear almost like an instrument. Enough said. Why don't we dive right into this thing and see what we can come up with. I'm going to change into something more comfortable, adjust the lighting to be a bit more atmospheric. Why don't you get yourself a beverage of your choosing, and we'll be back here for some sweet music in just a moment. And rolling tape. Okay, now let's slow her down to Chinatown. Hope you enjoyed this video, folks. This is Graham Sparkman with Graham Sparkman Music Production. I'm going to let the tape just roll out here so you can do a little dance in your living room or wherever you find yourself. Hasta luego, Guineas.